Alright guys, well here I have a 4T40-E, and the problem with this unit is that the flywheel broke off and it was leaking out of the front. This is what we call a CERTA unit. It's a certified remanufactured from General Motors, has a blue tag on it. I mean, it's nice and painted. But the flywheel broke and it was leaking out the front seal. Actually, the converter bushing got damaged. Nothing happened to the hub right here. So we're going to put a new converter in it and a flywheel, of course. But I want to open it up because it was leaking out the front and the forward clutches are down here. And I'm just going to inspect the forward clutches. I mean, they just want to fix the leak, but I don't want to put it back on and then for it to be slipping in first gear, you know, at takeoff. So I'm just going to, you know, check it out, and if everything's okay, I'm going to close it back up, put a front seal in it, and put it back in the car and give it back to the customer. So we're just going to go ahead and just check that out, you know, right quick. So first thing, I mean, you can see the O-ring here. It looks kind of new. So I'm not sure what's the age on this transmission, but it's a certified or CERTA unit from General Motors. I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Go ahead and take this mount off. That's a 15s. Got silicone around it. I'm not sure if it was leaking from the pan or what's going on. It doesn't look wet at all, but it looks like they put silicone on it for some reason. Take the linkage. That's 15. Now we get a 13mm socket. The position of this, sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not. I mean, you have the speed sensors on some vehicles going through here, the wire. And on some, you know, you have going through the top. It just depending on which orientation it goes. Just remember that this goes on this side. I'm taking this off because whenever I flip it over, I don't want to break it. So there we go. Now these studs right here, he doesn't. On this model, I don't think it really does matter. Depends on where the linkage goes. Some of them you would have a bracket here or here, and comes down to hold the linkage, but mark it anyways, mark an X on it. You want to put this bolt back where it came out of. Alright, now the pan should come off. It has two guide pins. Just gonna tap it out. There we go. You see here, one guide pin right here. And the other one over here, it has a little bit of rust. I mean, you can see it's a little rusty. We have a washer here and a seal. Gets out of the way. We have two shift solenoids, a pressure control solenoid. We have the torque converter clutch solenoid. It's a PWM. Pressure switch manifold. This is our pump. And then we have a wire that goes down in there that reaches one of the sprockets. That's our turbine speed sensor. Now on the 4T40s, it's very common that this solenoid here melts, and it's a good idea whenever you have one of these transmissions out, you know, just go ahead and change it, because the top one is not covered with fluid. I mean, you would have the level somewhere around right here, and this solenoid always melts, and that's why it's a good idea. I mean, whenever you're having two gears missing on one of these units, I mean, just check the resistance of this solenoid. It's always going to be open, or it's going to be a real high resistance, and you will know that that solenoid is damaged. It's a very common issue, so always replace the shift solenoids on the 4T40s or 45s. It's almost the same unit. Alright, now we want to remove this without taking the whole valve body out. So as a matter of fact, let me just take the pump off and just to make sure that everything's okay in the pump. I mean, they ran a low on fluid. It quit moving a little bit on them, but I don't think there's going to be any issues here. In other words, they didn't drive it for a long time. I mean, it just started puking oil. You get a little flashlight, and we look in there. Make sure that our slide it's nice and black, and it is. And it's a vane type of pump. This is pressed together, so in order to get this thing disassembled, you gotta take this cap off, and then you can take the gears off. All right, we'll get that to the side, and we actually need to check the valves, but let's go ahead and start removing this. Channel plate gasket. Take the bolts around the channel plate. Yeah, okay. I'm just looking to see if everything is the camera's picking everything up. Okay, so we got a couple of bolts here. 1, 2, 3. Then we take 2 10s, long ones. Okay. There's a few over here that needs to come out. We go around the accumulators. Here, yeah. This one goes all the way down. Probably this 2. This stays here. This one. Alright, it seems like it should come out. Go ahead and start trying on this thing. We got 2 guide pins on it. Seems to be attached by 1 more bolt. Oh, down here. There we go. 1 more bolt down here. That boy. Everything should come out as an assembly. Let's go ahead and undo our manual valve, unlatch it. There we go. Just remember the way this thing goes. Go ahead and remove the whole valve body, channel plate as an assembly. I'm going to pause you for a minute. I'm going to wait until the compressor turns off. Okay, compressor turned off already. Now we have to be careful here. We have 3 accumulator springs, and you have to know the 3 positions that they go. Sometimes they are color coded sometimes, but sometimes if somebody has been working on it, it will be discolored. Here we go. One bolt still has 1 thread on it. There we go. Okay. Here we are. If you see here, we got 3 accumulators. Let me get this camera over there. Get this in-camera view. We see that the top one, the second clutch accumulator, is blue. and these two are higher than this one. It takes a spring underneath, and this one don't take a spring. So the bottom one are the two plain ones. You can actually mix those up, and the top one is the blue one. Top one goes up here. Two plain ones. The bottom one only takes one spring. Let me get some pliers and get that thing out. Remove this accumulator, and we see this accumulator here, and there is no spring on the inside. Put it back on there. We get this accumulator out, and we see the accumulator, and here's our spring. So this accumulator takes two springs, one on the bottom and one on the top. And this one takes a different color. It's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit taller, and the wire, the coiling on the wire, it's a little bit heavier as well. So it's a stiffer spring, and it also has a spring in the rear. We see here, double spring. All right. Well, let's get this out of the way. Get all the bolts to fall on the thing. Pick them up and put them there. Washer goes here, 4-tap washer. We're going to need to take this little cup off. This is our pump shaft or pump drive. It goes into the pump, and the pump bearing rides on this here. It looks in good shape. Put this thing out of the way. This is our input speed sensor. The connector is right here. Sometimes, if you put like a junkyard unit or whatever, and the connector's broke, this is how far you need to go, or you just take the pins off the connector and just plug them in. You know, either way, whatever you want to do. Get this valve body and channel plate out of the way. Now we take this off. It's pressed in. You got one on each side. That's the inner sleeve for the axle seal. There we go. I'm gonna put a new one in it. Now that we already took our converter clutch O-ring here on the stator or on the turbine shaft, the chain is in real good shape. As you can see, it's nice and stiff. If you see it lagging, you know that chain is no good. Okay, now I am going to flip it over because I need to take some feed pipes on the bottom for this to come out. Well, actually, this will probably come out. It will come out, but then we have an overdrive band and the servo on the side. Let's go ahead and flip it to the side. Let's remove our pan. Pan bolts to the side. The filter was removed when the transmission was removed, so there's no filter there. And we see nice and shiny. There's a lot of metal. I don't have the old converter here no more. I already got the new one, but all that is from the converter bushing. It was wiped out. That out of the way. And now we remove this feed pipes that go to the forward clutch assembly down here. You have two feed pipes, one for lube and the other for forward. And we have a band down here and another band over here. So we take these feed pipes off first, and then the two servos. There's some O-rings underneath here on these pipes. Just make sure you have all the O-rings whenever you go back with it. 2, 4, 6, 8 O-rings. The bolts are different too. They're kind of yellow in color. because they're almost the same as the servo bolts. Got one servo. They're both different in size, so you cannot mix them up. They can only go in one way. Keep the bolts together. Take that thermal element out of the way. Now we can start taking this stuff out. We're going to leave this sensor here for now. We inspect here. Let's go ahead and pull the whole drum assembly here. In one piece we have second clutch. It's in good shape. We have reversing here. Check reverse. Whenever you have a fluid loss, I mean, you try to move it in forward or reverse, and you know that those frictions will get damaged. As we see here, frictions look in good shape. Put this thing back in there. So we're only inspecting to see if this transmission got damaged or not. Put it back together. I will feel better to make sure that everything's good than just to put that transmission back in there and then we have to pull it back out because we have issues. Let's get the overdrive band out. Has a little black line on it. We'll talk to the customer, see what he wants to do. And here we have direct. Let's go ahead and check our forward frictions. That's what we're here for. Remove our planet carrier assembly, ring gear, and here's our forward clutch. Turn clockwise a little bit, counterclockwise to get it undone from that sprag down there. Let's check out this band. This band is in very good shape. Actually, it looks brand new, actually. And here's our forward frictions. Let's go ahead and check our frictions here. Get them out. Nothing happened to this unit. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean it, clean it up a little bit. And down there, it's only the differential and a sprag. I'm not sure if we can get the light in there. Yeah. Yep. Alright, well this is it. This is just a basic teardown just to check it out. There we see a sprag down there on top of the differential, and that's all there's left in there. This is a 4T40 out of a Cavalier. Let me get some pliers and get this thing disassembled. Take the sun gear out, planet, sun gear shell. Now we check our direct frictions. Let's go ahead and get the snap ring out. Picking it up. Yeah. I think I got the camera a little bit too close this time. You want everything to be in frame instead of out of frame. Direct frictions, good shape. Got this other little frictions here. Get them out. Look at this. In really, really good shape. These are very tiny little frictions here. Alright, well this is just a basic teardown on a 4T40. My concern was to be damaged, put it back together, put a new converter in it, seal it up, and then we'll have problems, issues moving. I'm going to clean the valve body. I don't like that metal being in my valves and on our sensors. Metal shavings on the tip of the sensors where they read. I mean, they will cause problems. We need to clean all that stuff up. Alright guys, well, I know this is, could have done more here, but this is as far as we go. For right now, I gotta clean this thing up, put it back together, put it back in the car, and give it back to the customer. Alright, my name is Hiram. Thanks for watching. Like it and subscribe.